Good morning, guys. Of course, on a Tuesday after a 4-day weekend, the mistake that I made today with our session was that I didn't hit record before I got started. So let me give you an overview of the things that I was covering with the kids during our review session. Make sure you fill out your attendance for being here today. But in particular, what I want to be thinking about, and this is what we'll be building around for this upcoming week, the College Board at this link that you see right here is doing online AP essay questions that they are doing under a time fashion. Yesterday, they gave a time test. If you have not done that yet, I would encourage you to do this sometime today. And then at 10 a.m. today, they'll be taking this essay question, which is the one that they had kids writing yesterday with a timer on them. They are going to be going over today how to analyze your writing, and in particular, what good and not so good writing looks like. What I also highlighted for today, though, is that on the AP test, you will have the ability, I forgot to hit present. Again, Tuesday is not going super. So anyway, as I was saying, this is where they're holding the review sessions, the AP US History College Board YouTube site. They did a timed essay yesterday. It was recorded, so you can do it today, anytime. At 10 a.m., they'll be going over the essay. You can watch that afterwards. It'll be recorded. Here's the essay question itself. I've got it linked on your page right here. But I would encourage you to give that essay a run today. Try out writing that essay and see how you do. And in particular, when you come to our session tomorrow, we'll be talking about what your writing looked like and what problems you're having. And in particular, we highlighted today that if you are having problems with any of these different areas, they need to get fixed. If you're having content issues, you have to be working on cleaning up your content. What we highlighted today, though, is if you use your concept outline right here, there are a few spots in the concept outline that are very helpful. Identifying the theme of your essay question is a big deal. Like this essay question is asking you to analyze what caused culture to change from 1914 to 1945. You can see that American and regional culture is one of our themes, and it describes for you what that theme looks like. Also, they're telling you the time period that this essay question is taking place, 1914 until 1945. That's during period 7. And the mistake that a lot of kids will make is if they're not good with their content, they will look down these documents and analyze the documents using summaries alone. But if you remember our rubric, your rubric right here tells you that just by summarizing documents, you're only earning one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that you could be earning for document analysis. And so in particular, we want to have our content knowledge stronger. We want to be able to use outside information, and we need to be able to write something other than a document-driven essay. If you take a look in period 7, then this page, pages 32 and 33 inside your concept outline are going to be really helpful for you on test day because it lays out for you the different topics or concepts that we have studied throughout our course. And it highlights for you that during this time period, we learned about the Progressive Era, World War I, the 1920s, Great Depression, New Deal, and World War II, all of which helped to change our culture over that time period. Now, the essay question is what caused these cultural changes? So you could easily write about how any of these different topics might have done so. But on AP test day, if you discover, man, I really want to write about this right here, all you have to do is pull out your yellow concept outlines, in this case, 7.7. And if you turn to that spot, you will find that there is a discussion right here about communications, innovations, technology innovations, and explaining the causes and effects of what these things did. Over here, it explains what was the impact of these items on culture inside of our society. This may help you to write your essay as well. You've also been encouraged to write proper nouns over in the margin over here that you could use in your essay writing process. So you could easily open up these documents and be able to run down a list of proper nouns right here that you could then use in your essay writing to really do a good job writing your essay. Now, there's a few different levels of people who are having struggles in my class. If you're having content issues, then we have to work on getting that content down better. And one of the things you may want to think about using is, if you haven't bought a review book yet, we've got a free review book. McGraw-Hill offered to us the opportunity to get a review book. If you use the link that is on this page and the code that is on this page, you can get a book that will be a review guide like this. So if you've not bought a review guide yet, this will provide for you topics throughout all of US history, flashcard sets, and books themselves that will allow you to do tons of studying to make sure that you are good. It gives you a summary and specific facts that you may want to use in your writing. So if you're feeling like, man, my notes weren't good, they're not where I want them to be, perhaps this is what can help you out. On the other hand, if you find that you've got problems organizationally, remember our John Irish style guide that we showed you, where with his style guide, you can be using this to help you think through how are you going to organize your writing process, cause and effect, continuity, change over time, compare, contrast. And if you are thinking to yourself, I get midway through my essays and I'm really struggling to have organization that is good, these might be a good place for you to be reviewing over the upcoming week. In particular, though, what you want to be doing is you want to be practicing at game speed. So if you are a basketball player, you can't just go out and practice shooting jump shots in a really lazy sort of style, because during game speed, you're going to be doing completely different work when you're under pressure. You have to actually practice what you're going to be trying to do during games. And so I would encourage you to think about using the College Board YouTube page to be doing these practice writes. There was one yesterday. There'll be one again tomorrow, the debriefs of the day afterwards. And then we're going to be doing an AP essay on Friday, 8 a.m. time test, to give you a chance to try that out 1 week before the AP test. And I'll be able to grade it over the weekend and give you feedback about how you're doing. As you think through this upcoming week, then let me show you some resources that are available. This link has me very excited. This is an activity that you will probably want to think about doing as you guys are preparing for the AP test. These are possible essay topics that might show up on the AP test. Question over here with things you might want to consider, and then a space here where you could do the brainstorming to get yourself ready for how would you write an essay that has this question attached to it. Now, if you find that you've got gaps in your knowledge, this is from period 3, so you could easily go back to your concept outline for period 3. You could easily go back to your notes as well. They've put the link here from the AP YouTube series that they've been running with review for the content. So if you find that you need help with this content, this is Scott. He is one of the 2 AP coordinators who is working with kids to get their content down. This can help you understand the content from the time period really well. And then if you need practice DBQs, they're over here on the right-hand side. This upcoming week, then, what we should be working on is we should be working to make sure that you are structurally comfortable with what the DBQ looks like, what's going on with the process itself, and figuring out what problems you may be having. If you are having problems with fitting everything in the time allotted, keep in mind that you're supposed to be feeling that pressure, and they did intentionally set it up that way to make cheating harder. One of the things that we're discovering then is if you're having to figure out what places to make cuts, you'll want to think through what can maximize your rubric score. And maximizing your rubric score in particular means that you're getting as many points on the rubric as possible. And in most of the AP teachers' minds, it is becoming obvious that the College Board wants to see you use 2 documents really well in order to give yourself a fighting chance at a good score on the AP test. Because if you take a look at your document usage points, this is a document-based question, so kids will get really hyper-focused on the documents themselves. But when you're looking at the documents, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10 points that are set up with documents. For 1, 2, 3, 4 of the points, they only involve using 2 documents well. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to use all 4 if you've got the time to be able to do so. But the dilemma that you've got is that if you are spending all of your time focusing on documents and you're not focusing on outside information, or if all you're doing is document summaries and you're not getting to HIPPO or HAPPY, whichever the terms you would prefer to use, Many kids will end up getting a 2 on this year's DBQ because they'll do a thesis and then they'll just write it on an essay that says document 1 says this and document 2 says this. They'll provide document summaries and they'll miss out on all of these other document points and they won't do outside evidence either. Now, our goal though would be to rehearse this enough over the next 2 weeks so that when you get to the AP test, you feel like you've got plenty of time to demonstrate each of the skills they're looking for and submit the essay without any sort of problem. And if you are having issues with any of that, you and I should be talking. What I need you to do though is I need you to be very specific about what it is that you're going to need help with. So if you just announce, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having struggles without being specific. Are you having struggles with content? Is it the documents that throw you off? Is it organization? What specifically are you having problems with? Because being at a distance, this is going to be really hard to work our way through. You and I can work together to try to help figure things out. You helping yourself out though is the key. So if you come and say, "Hey, I'm not understanding stuff," but you're not doing these timed writes, we really are at that phase where you need to be putting in the work to figure out what the problems are, and then we can work together to help you overcome that. The other thing I'd like to highlight for you is when it comes to these possible essay topics, this is the time of year that I would typically be doing turn, pair, shares, informative work in class. We don't have that option on my end. You totally have that though with Google Meet or Facebook Messenger or other sorts of things where you could be forming study groups right now and working with other people if that was something that interested you. So please make sure that that is something you're thinking through. If you're figuring with this question that you've got it kind of this much, think about building out a study group with other people in a Google Meet sort of fashion like I've done. Just set up a Google Meet, invite people to join, invite some really bright kids who are really good at this stuff, and have them start talking about what it is that they're seeing inside their essays, because most likely they're going to be sharing facts with you that you hadn't thought about yet. But as soon as you're in this moment where you're now interested and motivated, you'll be amazed at how much content you can hold on to by listening to other people talk about their processes that they're using. The final thing that I'll highlight with you is you should absolutely do the test day demo to make sure that your computer is compatible with what the College Board is up to. The link is here. You've also received it through your emails from the College Board. And so feel free to run through that and check to see what the process is going to look like for uploading and make sure that your computer is compatible with what the College Board is up to. In addition, this Saturday at 7 a.m. Central Time, there will be a review session that is on C-SPAN. It's going to be an AP US History cram for the exam that'll be taking place. I know Jason Stacy, who is one of the teachers who is doing this. He is phenomenal at doing AP US History stuff. And so they're going to be spending an hour cramming through content on Saturday. So hearing a different voice might not be a bad idea for you to be able to get help. You can call in or you could submit questions right here if you're interested in utilizing that resource. We are at that phase then where what you're going to see me doing is I'm just going to be throwing different options and ideas at you as far as how you can be prepping. And I'm going to be looking for readouts from you to tell me how things are going. And if you need help, if you've got problems, then we should definitely be talking to make sure that you're in a good spot. But keep in mind, you have never studied for 2 weeks ever for a test like this one. You've got quite a bit of time, especially now that you're in quarantine. The key is just to use it well. And if there are things that I can be doing to help you out, I would love to do that for you. So please keep me in the loop. I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Good luck today.